Batman, why am I stuck being your little helper? Shouldn't it be Robin?
He wouldn't wear the costume.
Welcome to 5 points of articulation and happy holidays. The 5 points I articulate are packaging, presentation, posability, playability, and price. I'm Jason, and this is a very special Christmas-themed review. Today we're kicking off the Christmas season by decking the halls with the Dark Knight as Santa.
And just for the record, I don't smell.
Starting with the packaging, and somebody said blister card, but hold the card. Like an old school Toy Biz Marvel Legends, the entire thing is a plastic bubble. McFarlane introduced this style of packaging in the Fighting the Frozen Page Punchers line, which, come to think of it, I never did get around to reviewing. Though to be fair, I'm pretty behind Mr. Freeze reviews in general, compared to the original Page Punchers boxes, and I'll be honest, I really don't like this. On the one hand, it gives you a great view of the artwork on the back, but this is a Batman I'm not going to be displaying all year round. If ever there was a figure I'd want to be able to pack up again, it's this one. That said, the Christmas colors are nice. The gold label goes nicely with the red, green, and gold color scheme, and I've got to admit that this artwork is a lot of fun. I suppose if you cut it like so, you can make it work. For packaging, I'm giving Santa Batman half a point. For real though, how many bats would it take to pull that thing? Moving on to presentation, the Bat Santa stands at just over 7¼ inches, and is a near complete reuse of Endless Winter. The only new piece is the head. This figure is so perfect as a base for a Santa Batman that I'd thought about doing it as a custom before McFarlane announced his. In fact, I'd go so far as to say McFarlane improved on it. If you saw my Batman ranking of 2022, you'd know the biggest issue with this figure is the hard plastic coat that kind of turns him into a traffic cone. Here they've used a much softer, more pliable plastic. That's not to say I don't have some minor nitpicks, but given that this figure's more of a novelty item, I'm not going to be that harsh. First things first, I absolutely love the head. Even just as a generic Batman face, it's really nice, but they went above and beyond to match the texture on the hat with the rest of his coat. I do love the little bat ear sticking out. My only gripe, and it's honestly a minor one, is you can clearly see the seam line for the beard, but hey, any Santa wearing a fake beard is pretty obvious. I will say some black on the neck would have gone a long way, similar to the original, but with the beard there, you really barely see it anyway, so I get why they skipped it. I do think it was a clever idea to make the bat symbol gold instead of black, and in general, I do like the gold accents. This brings us to the utility belt. To be honest, they could have saved some money on gold paint and kept all the pouches black, and I'd have been totally fine with that. Where I would have liked some paint is on these straps, but again, not the biggest deal. Again, we have a nice gold armor piece. I love the white trim around the cuffs, but I'm honestly a little bit mixed on having the gloves be white. I'm not saying it's wrong or anything. You see Santas wearing white gloves all the time. Swapping out the original Endless Winter hands, I just can't help but wonder if the black might have popped just a bit better. I suppose they could have accented the knee pads in gold, but that might have been a bit busy. They also kind of cheated a bit with the boot line, but stepping back, it does give you that classic Santa boot cut, so I do see why they did it. As somebody who loves Batman, Christmas, and silly things, this is definitely for me, but I can also see it not being for everyone. Some missed opportunities, but still a whole lot of fun. For presentation, I'm giving Santa Batman 1 whole point. Moving on to posability, and that softer plastic coat really does make the difference. Not so much with looking up, he really can't do that, and because of the beard, he can't really look down. Great tilt though for when you ask him for something really dumb for Christmas, and then side to say no, because seriously, why would you ask for that? Moving on down, the shoulder pauldrons are soft and they're also attached up here. As such, he can raise his arms over 90 degrees. There is a rotator cuff in there, but he doesn't really get much forward and back. No trouble with the bicep swivel though. Really great bend on those double jointed elbows, and wrist balls nicely hidden by the cuffs. Moving in the middle, and Bat Santa has a diaphragm joint and a dumbbell waist. Thanks to that soft coat, he can arch back this far, but he can only hunch forward this far. The coat is roomy enough that he can get a bit of tilt. Most importantly though, he can twist. Below the gold buckle, and he has McFarlane style hips. Notice just how great they can spread. This is in direct contrast to Endless Winter, and he can kick a little over 45 degrees. Not a lot of twist, unfortunately. He does have double jointed knees though, which thanks to the slit in the back aren't a problem. And then of course he's got toe articulation and ankles that can swivel, hinge, and pivot. Thanks to that softer coat for posability, I'm giving Santa Batman 1 whole point. Moving on to playability, a no trading card this time around, but Bat Santa does come with a figure stand. Of course, he does have trigger fingers, no doubt for enjoying high-capacity chocolate chip cookies. But in terms of character-specific accessories, all he comes with is this Santa bag. Bruce always being one to flaunt his wealth. It's filled with shiny gold packages. The texture on this is wonderful, and looking around there's all sorts of sharp edges where boxes are pointing out, so it really does feel like an actual sack full of gifts. In lieu of a trading card or a comic book, we have this cardboard insert, and it's the same on both sides. Again, how many bats? You can prop it up using this stand. Altogether, this is a really nice little display, but both playability and Christmas is about more than what we receive. It's also about how well we share with others. For the rest of the Justice League, and here's Action Comics 1000 Superman and Hush Superman. All dressed up for the cold, and here's Endless Winter Wonder Woman. In fact, I'd like to go ahead and formally request this for next year. Could you just picture her all decked out in red, white, and gold? The fur trim is already sculpted in. Maybe switch this out for a Santa cloak, or just paint it gray. Next up, we have Endless Winter Aquaman, Flashpoint Flash, and the NECA DC vs. Dark Horse Green Lantern. Moving over to the Bat family, and Robin is always dressed for Christmas, most especially this Tim Drake. Here we have Red Hood, and in the spirit of the season, the red and black version of Nightwing. For Batgirl, and here's a quick and easy custom I concocted, combining the head and cape from the Family 5-pack and the Three Jokers body. Of course, even at Christmas time, evil never sleeps, so here's the Joker, the colorful classic Riddler, Oswald Cobblepot, the cold-loving Penguin, and Catwoman. Get it, because Eartha Kitt sang Santa Baby? It's literally the thumbnail. For a couple of other frosty foes, and here we have the Superpowers version of Mr. Freeze, the Page Punchers, Captain Cold, and the Frost King. That said, for just a couple of other large-scale villains, and here we have Clayface, who I associate with Christmas ever since the Holiday Nights episode of the new Batman Adventures, and Bane. This holiday season will be your reckoning. Inflation alone is quite crippling. And then for a couple of actual Christmas figures, and here we have Holiday Harley Quinn, and the Fresh Monkey Fiction Naughty or Nice Collection Santa. For a relative scale comparison, here's Santa Batman with Pizza Spidey and the Spectacular Spider-Man, and as always, here he is with Stealth Iron Man. Hey Santa, you know what I want for Christmas?
Oh, I don't know. Legs?
Dude! I was just gonna say a new pair of Air Force Ones.
What are you gonna do with a pair of Air Force Ones?
Again, dude! They appreciate in value.
Can't you just collect action figures like a normal person?
Nah, that cheap junk breaks all the time. As we all know, I'm a sucker for any figure that can double as a holiday decoration. For playability, I'm giving Santa Batman 1 whole point. This leaves us with nothing left to discuss but the price. Santa Batman is a McFarlane ToyStore.com exclusive and was made in both red and blue. As of this recording, blue is sold out, but you can still get this red version for $29.99. I understand that this is a novelty item that's not going to be for everyone, but given all the reuse, that does feel kind of steep. If you like what you see, hurry down the chimney before this version disappears. For price, I'm giving Santa Batman half a point for a grand total of 4 out of 5. Because he's the Santa Gotham deserves, but not the one it needs right now. A holy night. Doom, doom. For more festive videos, check out one of these. Thank you so much for watching. Like Frosty the Snowman, I'll be back again someday. Until then, play nice, have fun, and be merry.